गुरु गौरांग गंधार विकगिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्रील गौर किशोरदास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नामचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद जय। श्री राय रामानंद की जय। जय तदीय शुभ तिथि की जय। जय श्री अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Jai Shri Gauḍīya Patrikā ki Jai. This is so Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. So today is going to be, we're reading a lot more than we normally read. So actually 3 times as much as we normally read. So this is going to be different than all of our other Rays of the Harmonist Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī sessions, because this one's not going to be really much of an Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. I'm just going to read. So these are articles that Śrīla Prabhupada wrote in 1950. I forgot the year. We'll see it though. He wrote this for Gauḍīya Patrikā, which is the magazine of my Param Gurudev Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Keshav Goswami Maharaj, of which Śrīla Prabhupada was one of the main editors, and he wrote many articles for that. Srivas has translated many. And also in every issue of Rays of the Harmonist, we have an article by Śrīla Prabhupada from the Gauḍīya Patrikas. And next year, we're going to, every month, we'll read an article from this of Śrīla Prabhupada's. This year, we're focusing on Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Thakur, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, and my Param Gurudev Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And next year, we'll focus on Śrīla Prabhupada, Śrīla Vāma Goswami Maharaj, Śrīla Chivikram Goswami Maharaj, and my Gurudev. So, all right, I'm just going to jump right into it because this is going to be a long one. But oh yeah, I chose to read these 3 articles because usually on Krishna Panchami, we read articles by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. But since today is the auspicious disappearance day of Śrīla Rai Ramananda, I thought it would be nice to read these articles of Śrīla Prabhupada because they go through the beginning of Rai Ramananda Samvad. I think all the way up to Gyan Shunya Bhakti. So, or maybe a little bit past that. Yeah, let's see. All right, so let's start. Oh, wait, 1 second. Let me just see all who's here. Pranam Satya Mataji, Gauranga Prabhu, Manjulali Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Anjali Didi, Bhakti, Sri Devi Didi, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Krishna Mai Didi, and Vrinda Didi, Haribol, and Ganga Mataji, Hare Krishna. Oh yeah, Vrinda Didi, the cyclone wasn't actually that bad. Yeah, it wasn't. But thank you. All right. Just seeing the comments. All right. Great. Let's begin. Oh, and I made this into an EPUB if anybody wants that. I can send it to them. I noticed a couple mistakes I made in the EPUB, but anyways, they weren't big things. Okay. So this article series, it's a 3-part series, and the title of it is Karunaya Avatāra Kalo. Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Prabhupāda. Okay, so Śrīla Rupa Goswami, one second, let me just look at the comments again. Okay, okay, Śrīla Rupa Goswami is the confidential servant of Sri Gaurasundar, the most munificent avatar who mercifully appeared in the age of Kali, Karuna Avatirna Kalo. Who but such an intimate servant can understand which mood appears in the heart of Mahaprabhu at what moment, and how that mood augments the Hladini Shakti, the internal pleasure potency that resides there? Who but Śrīla Rupa Goswami? No one has the power to understand the deep and diverse pastimes of Sriman Mahaprabhu without bathing in the dust of the lotus feet of such an antaranga, such an intimate, internal associate. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu always prayerfully contemplated the lotus feet of those internal devotees, and in this way he proceeded in his service of glorifying Mahaprabhu without the slightest obstruction. He concludes every chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita with Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pare Jar Ash Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishna Das, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always aspiring for their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We will understand the transcendental pastimes of Sri Gaurasundar only when we receive the blessings of Srila Rupa and Raghunath. For this reason, Srila Rupa Goswami benedicted all jivas. He said, Anarpita charim chirat karunaya avatirna kalo samarpaitum unato jvala rasang sabhakti shriyam Haripurta Sundara Dyuti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratu Vashachinandanaha. May the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, Shri Gaur Hari, forever manifest spontaneously within the innermost core of your heart. Adorned with the radiant splendor of molten gold, he has descended, Avatirna. He has descended in the age of Kali. He has descended in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow upon the world that which has not been given for a long time, the beauty of his own brilliantly radiant Ujjvala Prem Ras Bhakti, service in the highest mellow of amorous love. It's the second verse of Vidagdha Madhav. We will understand the transcendental pastimes of Sri Gaurasundar only when we receive the blessings of Srila Rupa and Raghunath. Accomplish this task. Karunaya Avatirna Kalo. What kindness Sri Shachinandan Hari Gaurasundar has shown the jivas overwhelmed by the age of Kali by mercifully descending at this time. The people of the world, however, are unable to comprehend his magnanimity even today. Therefore, to assist us in understanding his purpose for descending, Sri Gaurasundar himself made a prediction and liberally ordered the residents of Bharat to accomplish this task. And what was that benediction? Let's just Prithiviti Ache Jata Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachara Hoibe Mor Nam My name will be preached throughout every town and village on earth. Right, so Sri Gaurasundar himself made a prediction and liberally ordered the residents of Bharat of India to accomplish this task. Now there's this verse. Bharata bhumite hoilo manusya janma jar, janma sarthak kori koro para upakar. Anyone who has taken a human birth in the land of India should make his life successful by striving for the highest benefit of all others. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 9, verse 41. All the acharyas in the line of Śrīla Rupa Goswami have endeavored tirelessly to inform everyone of this order of Mahaprabhu by writing unprecedented literatures. Commanded by Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Thakur, Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupāda proved most effective in his attempts to do this. If his qualified disciples had protected his line of thought and tried to inform the world about Sriman Mahaprabhu, maybe by now they would have successfully preached the message of Sri Gaurasundar in all the corners of the globe. Actually, in so many of the articles of Śrīla Prabhupada in this time, well, at least a few of them that I've seen, he's really urging all of his God brothers to put aside their differences and come together and help spread this message. This order of, what is it? Yes, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada proved most effective in his attempts to do this after being commanded by Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Thakur to inform everyone of this order of Mahaprabhu, that if his qualified disciples had protected his line of thought and tried to inform the world about Sriman Mahaprabhu, maybe by now they would have successfully preached the message of Sri Gaurasundar in all corners of the globe. What nectar there is in a message of Sri Gaurasundar! The educated sector of today's society is most curious to learn about this. In this regard, it is worth noting the words of our respected Dr. Sri Yuta Kalidas Nagar. Our commendable god brother and barrister, Dr. Samvirananda Das, was present one day during a discussion at Dr. Nagar's house. Sri Kalidas Nagar practically ridiculed us by saying that a certain mission does not have anything worthy to say, yet its members are preaching their message all over the world. But we are still unable to propagate such a grand message of Sriman Mahaprabhu beyond the borders of Bengal. We should realize that it is due to our great disqualification that we have not preached this message out of Bengal. If we compete with the Jat Goshais, the caste Goswamis, taking pride in establishing a mere 3 or 4 mats and temples and collecting a few disciples and servants, the message of Mahaprabhu will not be broadcast. Unless we collectively endeavor to ensure that the most munificent incarnation, Sri Gaurasundar, manifests in the heart of each and every jiva stricken by Kali, this task will remain unaccomplished. These were the final words of Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Let's reread that. What were his final words? His final words were, unless we collectively endeavor to ensure that the most munificent incarnation, Sri Gaurasundar, manifests in the heart of each and every jiva stricken by Kali, this task will remain unaccomplished. These were the final words of Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He told us to work cooperatively to preach the message of Rupa and Raghunath. Our misfortune is that we have strived to follow all of his instructions, except this one. You can see the urgency that was like burning inside of Śrīla Prabhupada before he went to the West of fulfilling this last request of Śrīla Bhakti, these final words of Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī. Yes. Yeah. The first step in attaining transcendental knowledge. In his Sarartha Varshini commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments on the verse Vyavasayatmika Buddhir 241 as follows. And he gives the whole Sanskrit commentary here. I'm not going to read all the Sanskrit. because we have a lot to read. but the meaning is, on the path of bhakti, our sole sadhan is to follow with resolute intelligence the instruction we have received from Sri Guru Padma. With fixed resolve, we should endeavor to execute whatever order we have received from him regarding Bhagavat Kirtan. This is both our sadhan, our practice, and our sadhya, our goal. And our sole duty is to organize our entire life around trying to follow that instruction. Wow. This is an amazing. It's both our sadhan and our sadhya. And our sole duty is to organize our entire life around trying to follow that instruction, the instruction we received from Sri Guru Padma. We are never to neglect the order of Guru Padma, either in the stage of sadhan or when we have attained our ultimate goal. Our sole desire in life is to serve Guru Padma according to his desire. We should have no other aspiration, even in our dreams. If in following the order of Guru Padma, we encounter happiness or distress, let it be. Our material life may be destroyed or may not, but whatever the case, so be it. Either way, we will neither lose nor gain. Our one and only duty is to serve our spiritual master. To be fixed in this understanding is characteristic of resolute intelligence and firm faith. Service to Sri Guru and Bhagavan performed with this resolve constitutes bhakti. All else we do in the name of bhakti is simply sense gratification. Wow. What a commentary, man. It's amazing. Okay. When Aurangzeb went to instruct his son, Muhammad, about devotion to his forefathers, Muhammad plainly said, "Must I learn about devotion to my forefathers from you?" Aurangzeb had imprisoned his own father, Shah Jahan, and usurped his throne. So naturally, Muhammad was not ready to hear from him any instruction on ancestral respect. When Vallabhbhatta declared his own commentary on the Bhagavat to be superior to that of Sridhar Swami, Sri Gaurasundar replied, "Prabhu hasi kohe Swami na mane je jan, veshar bhitore tare koriye ganan." Smiling, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I consider that person a prostitute who does not accept the Swami to be an authority. It's from Antya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 7, verse 115. Bhagavad Gita instructs us that worshipping the Acharya Upasana, is the first principal step in attaining transcendental knowledge. Therefore, one who tries to attain the position of Guru by disregarding the Acharyas and Sri Guru's instructions will never be successful in that position. The flow of mercy. In Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, Sriman Nityananda Prabhu broke open the dam that blocked the ocean of mercy and began to distribute prem to any and everyone. The society of goldsmiths and Saptagram were harassed by the artificial caste system of Balal Sen. They were of the lowest caste, yet Sriman Nityananda Prabhu went from door to door and delivered them all. Murka vanikakul korilen udar.
We cannot hear you. Madhukar, we cannot hear you.
Sound
is off, Madhukar.
No sound, right. Oh, yeah.
Hari Bol. No
No
audio.
sound.
Hari
Haribol,
Bol.
no sound, Madhukar.
Madhukar Prabhu.
Maybe his sound is not working in both directions.
Yes, yes.
Madhukar Prabhu.
No sound.
Oh.
Oh, no connection.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Now
How
Yes.
long has it been out for?
Oh, quite a while.
What? Oh my God. So
Yeah.
sorry about that. Okay. Let's reread this. Okay. Later on, the so-called Caste Goswami's claims that, right? Was it just from this paragraph or from before even?
Oh, it's from Murkha Vanika Kula Kari Lena Uddhar.
Oh
He
my
delivered
God.
the
Okay.
Police Society of Goldsmith from
So
each and every person from here.
Okay. Okay. I'll just start from the beginning right here. Sorry about that, guys. In Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, Sriman Nityananda Prabhu broke open the dam that blocks the ocean of mercy and began to distribute prem to any and everyone. The society of goldsmiths in Saptagram were harassed by the artificial caste system of Balal Sen. They were of the lowest caste. Yet, Sriman Nityananda Prabhu went from door to door and delivered them all. Murka Vanika Kul Korilen Udar. He delivered the foolish society of goldsmiths. Each and every person has the right to perform bhakti. One's caste and dynasty are of no consideration. In this mood, Sriman Nityananda Prabhu bestowed prem upon all. Later on, the so-called caste Goswamis claimed that they were the sole representatives of Nityananda Prabhu's dynasty, thus again blocking the flow coming from the ocean of mercy. But then, the second manifestation of Nityananda himself and the embodiment of Gauranga's teachings, Gauravani, Om Vishnupad, Shishimad, Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Prabhupāda, broke open that dam and made the river of pure bhakti flow in the same way it did in Sriman Mahaprabhu's time. Jai Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. The second manifestation of Nityananda himself and the embodiment of Gauranga's teachings. He broke open that dam and made the river of pure bhakti flow in the same way it did in Sriman Mahaprabhu's time. Wow. What a glorification, huh? Śrīla Prabhupada ordered his qualified disciples to come together and preach the message of Sri Rupa and Raghunath as he had done. But now, for some reason, the current of bhakti is again, unfortunately, coming to a standstill. We should all be diligent to ensure that the river of Sri Bhaktivinod's conceptions, the Bhaktivinod Dhara, never stops flowing. The dark age of Kali. Srimad Bhagavatam describes how the rishis, headed by Shaunak, assembled at Naimisharanya, and, according to the line of thought that is appropriate for Vaishnavas, determines the obligatory duties of the jivas stricken by the age of Kali. Seeing the terrible condition of the jivas in Kali Yuga, Shaunak and other rishis said to Sutta Goswami, Prayanal Payusha Sabhya Kalavasmin Yuge Jana Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Yupadrutaha. O learned one, the lifespan of the general person in Kali Yuga is short. Furthermore, he is lazy, he is lacking resolve in spiritual life, less intelligent, troubled by various obstacles, and unfortunate, in other words, bereft of sadhu sangha. In addition, he is afflicted by the threefold miseries. It's the 10th verse from the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the age of Kali, all the jivas have short lives, are lazy, and possess an intelligence that is riddled with sinful desire. They are always agitated by obstacles and troubled by sickness and lamentation. The rishis were wondering how, in such a condition, the jivas could attain their true welfare. The terrible condition of the human race in Kali Yuga has been described in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Shukadeva Goswami told Parikshit, as the days in Kali Yuga pass by, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, forgiveness, compassion, lifespan, and memory will gradually diminish. We are gradually realizing this. In Kali Yuga, A person will adhere to a religion in name only. One who tells the truth will not be able to fill his belly. Cleanliness will not exist at all because public places, hostels, restaurants, and shops will be full of the most degenerate people with the vilest tendencies. The merit of forgiveness will be forgotten. One who's forgiving will be considered timid or cowardly. One who's forgiving is timid or cowardly. Not even will be considered that. Not even members of the same family will be forgiving with each other. The quality of compassion will be found only in fairy tales. Longevity will not exist anywhere, especially in India, where people live for only 75 years. Memory will be limited to knowledge acquired through books. In Kali Yuga, the status of one's, now it's even more extreme than books. Now it's just whatever you have in your devices. In Kali Yuga, the status of one's birth, conduct, and good qualities will be measured by one's affluence. A person with wealth will belong to the highest caste and will be considered to bear all good qualities. No one will inquire as to the identity of one's mother and father. For at one's marriage, one's kula, one's family caste, one's gotra, one's family line, and those who gather as witnesses to the marriage will not be considered important. All social activities such as giving and receiving, buying and selling, eating and feeding others, and communicating will consist solely of lying and cheating. The cause of love between male and female will be based on expertise in lovemaking, style of dress, their decorative ornaments, bodily strength, and external beauty. The term grihastha ashram will be found only in tales because of the free, unrestricted meeting of men and women. A person will be regarded as a Brahmin simply by wrapping a 2-paisa thread around his neck. It will not be necessary to scrutinize him to see if he has the qualities of a Brahmin or those of a Kshatriya or Vaishya. Sight of this thread will suffice. Wearing saffron cloth and carrying a stick will make one a sannyasi, and donning white cloth or pants will denote one as a grihastha. There will be no need for any actual qualification. Only those with money will receive justice. For example, you won't be able to enter the courts without first paying a fee of money-stamped paper. And that's in India, legal documents are often signed on paper bearing the stamp of a rupee note valued at 5, 10, 50 or more rupees. So yeah, you won't be able to enter courts without first paying the fee of money-stamped paper and a lawyer, what to speak of further court proceedings. The English term for this kind of procurement of justice by money is to push, or to throw good money after bad money. One will be known as a scholar if on the strength of his powerful voice, he can lecture for 3 to 4 hours. One who is poor will be considered a ruffian and a thief. And the most honored sadhu will be one who exhibits the most arrogance and self-importance. One who travels a long distance to take bath in the Ganga at Haridwar will be considered a greatly pious. But such piety will not be attributed to one who takes bath in the Ganga flowing through any other city, or even through one's own locality. 800,000 people gathered at Allahabad to take bath during the Kumbh Mela. They had not read Śrīla Narottam Das's prayer, which says, Tirtha Jatra Parishram Kevala Manir Bhram. Going on pilgrimage is simply a useless labor. It is only another kind of satisfaction for the bewildered mind. One will look charming if he grows long hair. Nowadays, you can even find young boys with long hair. No matter how little they eat or no matter how much their face is shriveled up, they will still grow their hair long to try to look beautiful. The unfortunate and destitute people of Kali Yuga will use soaps and cosmetics in their attempts to look fair and handsome. A person who can eat to the full satisfaction of his belly will think he has achieved the fourfold goals of life, namely dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, religiosity, wealth, sense enjoyment, and liberation from material bondage. He will not consider it necessary to attain anything more. In the age of Kali, people will think that if they're able to feed their wives and children, they have achieved the expertise of King Daksha that he attained by performing fire sacrifices. Putting a dog on the throne. There will be no practical means by which one can make a sacrificial fire. Dharma, religious activities, and seva, service, will exist in name only. People will be bound to the practices of a so-called religious tradition, motivated by their public image as a religious person and the reputation of their guru. Whether they are religious or not, the world will be filled with people of this mentality. The strongest among them will come forward, posing as political leaders themselves. By cheating the unfortunate and less intelligent masses, they will accumulate votes and thus become rulers. Sometimes a pot of milk hanging from the wall may fall accidentally on the cat. Sometimes a pot of milk hanging on the wall may fall accidentally, and the cat will think herself fortunate. But what benefit can these low-minded rulers bestow upon the people by such power? Hitopadesh says, Shva yadi kriyate raja tat kim nashnat upanaham. If a dog eater becomes a king, can he give up his nature? Can one ever give up his nature? What benefit is there in making a dog sit on a throne? He will not give up his nature of eating dried flesh. In the same way, it is sure and certain that those who present themselves as rulers, having painted themselves as leaders with the color of popular vote, will ultimately act according to their acquired nature. Which scriptures related to maintaining their citizens have they read? That their hearts will break for the sufferings of the people. While giving grandiose lectures, they will pretend that their heart is breaking, but at the time of action, they will only loot and plunder. Ander nagari bakuba raja, taka sera bhaji taka sera kaja. The king will be as blind and degraded as the citizens. In this way, a picture of the age of Kali has been painted. Seeing this, we can understand why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sri Ramananda, Varnashram dharma eho bahya age koho ar. That means Varnashram dharma is external. Please speak something beyond this. How can the people of Kali Yuga practice Varnashram dharma? For them, everything is in jeopardy. So this was written in March 1956 for Gauḍīya Patrikā, year 7, issue 1. And this was published in Rays of the Harmonist, issue number 16, Kartik 2006. So that was the first article. Now we will read the second article, the second of 3 articles, part 2 of Karunaya Avatīrna Kalo. Let me just make sure the mic is okay. Great. Oh, and Haribol, Nari Hari Prabhu, and Pavatarini Mataji, and Rasapriya Didi. And there are a bunch more people joined on. Who else joined? Archana Didi, Ashray Prabhu, Madhavendra Puri Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, Sarveshwari Mataji. Yeah, and everybody else. Hare Krishna. All right. Karunaya Avatīrna Kalo. So these are in 3 consecutive magazines. The perversion of Varnashram. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita 4.13, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasha. I created the 4 social orders based on the divisions of guna, of qualities as influenced by the modes of nature, and karma, the subsequent proclivity for work. Oh, Haribo, Rasaraj Prabhu, and Nitai. Hare Krishna. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I have created the 4 social orders based on the divisions of guna and karma. Anything created by him cannot be destroyed. For this reason, in the age of Kali, all 4 social divisions, all varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, which are based on guna and karma, are extant. But there have been alterations to their hue or certain given aspects. All right, Haribo. The system of Varnashram Dharma, as delineated in the scriptures, solves, beyond doubt, the problem of birth and death, since its aim is to achieve the favor of Lord Vishnu. The currently imperiled system has produced a perversion of these four varnas, or class distinctions, now represented by political diplomats, soldiers, capitalists, and the general mass of skilled and unskilled laborers. Previously, the Brahmins competently used their best intelligence to serve their fellow man by solving the problems encountered in human life. Now, politicians have taken the position of Brahmins and are using their best intelligence to execute plans for their own selfish benefit. The only result for society will be disaster. The current military system is a perversion of the Kshatriya class. It is the duty of the Kshatriyas to give the people protection. But now they suck the very blood of the mass of citizens in every state by imposing upon them unbearably heavy taxes for their personal squander. The present capitalists are a perverted representation of the Vaishyas, who customarily accumulated wealth to execute the will of Vishnu, but now, amassing vast amounts of wealth for their own sense gratification, these capitalists are the cause of the many problems that have arisen all over the globe in the form of selfishly motivated political creeds. Boy, is that true today. And finally, the simple laborers are the perverted representation of the Shudra class. They serve the capitalists who are exploiting them for their own ends. All the while, they groan and resort to politicals to force the capitalists to serve the problems related to their work. Thus, although the Varnashram system has not been rejected altogether, as some would like, the entire system has become perverted and complex due to the human tendency to transgress codes of conduct. Thus, a peaceful atmosphere that supports progress in the human form of life has been intentionally jeopardized. The authentic Varnashram Dharma has been fossilized, and its perverted counterpart is incapable of pleasing the all-pervading Godhead, Sri Vishnu. Consequently, no one can escape the police action of material nature, regardless of how expert he is in manipulating it through material science. Thus, when Sri Ramananda Rai raised the question of Varnashram Dharma, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at once rejected it, saying that in regard to pure devotional service, Varnashram Dharma has no value. There is no hope for demoniac Varnashram Dharma. Out of compassion, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this age of Kali, Karunaya Avatirna Kalo. It therefore follows that his unprecedented gift to humanity is not accessible through Varnashram Dharma, even if one strictly adheres to it. In this context, we must consider 2 points. Wow, this is very important. Mahaprabhu's unprecedented gift to humanity is not accessible through Varnashram Dharma, even if one strictly adheres to it. In this context, we must consider 2 points. The first is that in this age of Kali, it is of no use to follow a crumbled Varnashram Dharma that is adaiva, or demoniac, in which one's birth determines one's Varna or social order. No particular benefit can be derived by reinstating such a shattered and crumbled system. By remaining inclined toward this adaiva Varnashram Dharma, there is no hope of achieving devotion to the Lord, Bhagavad Bhakti. The second consideration is that within the present system of Varnashram Dharma, there is no benefit even if one meticulously adheres to it. This is because by following it, one's endeavor to serve the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu is based on identifying with one's external false ego. Thus, the benefit of following it is nowhere close to the gift bestowed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Indeed, with this understanding, Sri Rupa Goswami addressed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Mahavadanyaya, the most munificent incarnation who bestows Krishna Prem. The supremely pure Varnashram Dharma, which complies with the principle that someone's Varna is determined by his guna and karma, not by his birth, is known as Vishuddha Deva Varnashram Dharma. For one who abides by its principles, gradually it becomes possible to attain sadhu sangha, association with saintly persons. The power and influence of this sadhu sangha alone becomes the means to attain Krishna Prem. So the whole purpose of Varnashram Dharma, of Vishuddha Deva Varnashram Dharma, is that if one abides by its principles, gradually it will become possible to attain sadhu sangha. And the power of this sadhu sangha will become the sole means to attain Krishna Prem. Mahaprabhu's munificence. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from Sri Ramananda Rai about the goal of life, the sadhya, and the means to achieve it, sadhan, with the sole intention of precisely ascertaining the process to attain Krishna Prem. And Rukmini Didi said that there's a verse from Vishnu Purana about that, about sadhu sangha being the whole purpose of Varnashram Dharma. Okay, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from Sri Ramananda Rai about the sadhya and sadhan, precisely ascertaining the process to attain Krishna Prem. In their discussion, they carefully and systematically analyzed the subject in order to establish that Krishna Prem is the transcendental inherent dharma, the inherent occupation of the jiva, and that it cannot be accessed by ritualistic following the principles of the scriptures, or by accepting the ordinary conceptions of the common man. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bestow his mercy upon the living entities of Kali Yuga to the extent that they are degraded. It's nice, huh? And to that extent, he grants them the topmost gift. Wow. That much you're fallen, that much higher. The more, that's really amazing. To the extent that they are degraded, he will bestow his mercy, and to that extent he grants them the topmost gift. As the most munificent incarnation, he has appeared in this world to do just this. Thus, those who cannot avail the opportunity provided by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's quality of great munificence shall without doubt remain deprived forever. The crux of this matter has specifically been delineated by the Mahajans, or highly exalted sages. With the intention of teaching it to us, Śrīla Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad has said in Sri Chaitanya Chandramrita text 46, Vanchitosmi
Hold over here. It's so hot, but I was ready to dedicated. I took a little nap.
Okay, sorry about that. So Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad, he has said in Chaitanya Chandramrita, Vanchitosmi na samshaya Vishvam Gora Rase Magnam Sparshopi Mamana Bhavat. I have been deprived. Surely I have been deprived. The whole world became immersed in love of Sri Gaur. But alas, my destiny is such that not a drop of that love has touched me. Following and helping others follow are one and the same. Anarpita charim chirat. This topmost of all benedictions, which reveals to the jiva his transcendental natural dharma, and which can inundate the whole world, has not been bestowed for a long, long time. If we contact it, but are unable to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, or even if we understand them, but do not try to help others understand, then surely we will be deprived of this love of Sri Gaur. In order to give us a firm and thorough understanding of this subject matter, Śrīla Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad used the term Vanchitosmi 3 times. I have been deprived. I have been deprived. Wow. Again, Srila Prabhupada's showing his urgency that we have to not be selfish and just keep all these teachings of Mahaprabhu for ourselves, but we'll be deprived of Mahaprabhu's mercy if we don't share them with others, right? That's what he's expressing. If we contact it, Mahaprabhu's teachings, but are unable to understand, sorry, one second, Ashraf, you keep on, let me see if I can block this. Share whiteboards. Yeah, okay. One second, let me just remove these marks from the screen. How do I do that?
Sorry, I didn't realize everyone was seeing what I was doing. I was just checking what the thing could do.
Oh, yeah, that goes on the screen for everybody. How do you remove? Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I
can get rid of it. I can get rid of it.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. So, what was I saying? Okay. So, sorry guys, one second. So this topmost of all benedictions, which reveals to the jiva his transcendental natural dharma and which can inundate the whole world, has not been bestowed for a long, long time. If we contact it but are unable to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, or even if we can understand them but do not try to help others understand, then surely we'll be deprived of this love for Sri Gaur. In order to give us a firm and thorough understanding of the subject matter, yeah, that's why Srila Saraswati, Prabodhananda Saraswati has said, I've been deprived, I've been deprived, I've been deprived. Following the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ourselves and helping others to follow them are one and the same. Yeah, that makes sense. Following the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ourselves and helping others to follow them are one and the same, because the teachings of Mahaprabhu is to help others follow them. Follow them. Srila Kaviraj Goswami wrote the following about Srila Haridas Thakur. Apane achare keho na kore prachar. Prachar koren keho na koren achar. Achar prachar namer koroho dui karya. Tumi sarva guru tumi jagater arya. That's from the Antya Lila, chapter 4, verses 102 to 103. Some persons behave properly, but do not preach the glories of chanting Sri Nam, whereas others preach, but do not behave according to the principles. In relation to the holy name, you both behave in an exemplary way, achar, and you preach to others, prachar. You are thus the guru of all, for you are the topmost devotee in this world. Since practice, and prachar, preaching, are one and the same, they should be simultaneously and actively cultivated. Those who maintain that spiritual maturity is an essential prerequisite to preaching do not have an admirable conception, because preaching is identical to kirtan. Bhakti has 9 limbs, or 9 kinds of practice, and the limb that excels all others is kirtan. It is through this one practice alone, through kirtan, or preaching, that all the other limbs attain purity. Indeed, this was Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur's teaching to us. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most munificent incarnation, imparted the same instruction. He commanded one and all to perform the function of Guru everywhere. He has apprised us of this order as follows. He said, Jare dekho tare koho Krishna upadesh, Amar agyay Guru hoya tar e desh. That's from Madhya Lila, chapter 7, verse 128. Mahaprabhu said, my order is to instruct whomever you meet to follow the instructions of Sri Krishna as given in the scriptures, which advise one to worship him. In this way, become Guru and deliver everyone in this land. If Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Thakur Prabhupada had waited for his disciple preachers to attain perfection before he engaged him in acting for the welfare of others, his system of preaching would have unfolded quite differently. With the aim of revealing the glory of Sri Gaura's potency, he personally transmitted that potency to ordinary persons who generally were only fit to perform menial work, even by the standards of the material world. By thus engaging them in preaching activities in the form of Hari Kirtan, his mission attained success. And wow, and we could see how Śrīla Prabhupada did that. Getting all these hippies to spread the mission of Mahaprabhu. He didn't wait for them to attain perfection and then preach. No, from the very beginning, they were out on the streets distributing books, right? His simple and pure message. Mukam Karoti Vachalam. By the mercy of Sri Guru, even a dumb man can become the greatest orator. We had the opportunity to directly witness this. How can a dumb man become a great orator? If one preaches the pure, unadulterated teachings of Srimad Mahaprabhu, then and only then is it possible. But the moment we mix his pure teachings with even a few words of our own speculation, it marks our greatest misfortune. This act alone becomes the root cause of our complete destruction. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not come to teach anything abstruse that would be difficult for the common people to comprehend. If he had done so, the statement Jagat Plavan, inundation of the whole world with prem, would have no truth. He is certainly more intelligent than each and every one of us, and he knows how to make the fallen souls of Kali Yuga best understand his high-level teachings. Indeed, his teachings are comprehensible by all. Still, our misfortune prevails. First, we do not accept his teachings. Second, to impress others with our prowess, we mix something of our own with them. This behavior has been observed in groups like Sahajya, Aul, Baul, and Karta Bhaja. They have inserted untruths into the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As a result, they have become overcome by mundane inertia and rejected by pure Vaishnavas. Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur vigorously strived throughout his life to ensure we understood that their contrived conception of Dharma is not the Dharma propounded by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only the endeavor to spread the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a simple manner, while being careful not to manipulate them even slightly, will be our sole bhajan. But if a person waits till he becomes perfect before he disseminates those teachings, he will be deprived of the service of preaching. Indeed, he will remain in that immature state throughout his whole life. This is so balanced. Śrīla Prabhupada's cautioning us how we, just because you're very immature and just beginning on this path of bhakti, you must spread these Mahaprabhu's teachings, but at the same time, if you mix even a little bit of your own idea with them, then everything will be destroyed. So both sides are there. But only the endeavor to spread the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a simple manner, while being careful not to manipulate them even slightly, that will be our sole bhajan. Offering without love. Even if we fully lack the capacity to understand the pure and simple teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we just pass them on, carrying them to the next person like a load-carrying donkey, we will still receive Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessings. I love that. Even if we fully lack the capacity to understand the pure and simple teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we just pass them on, carrying them to the next person like a load-carrying donkey. We will still receive Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessings. This is, of course, provided we do not adulterate those teachings with any of our own mental speculations. If by following his instructions to the slightest degree, we attract even his mere glance, which is full of compassion, which is full of karunya, then we will undoubtedly attain something far superior to the fourfold goals of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. It is to be understood that the benevolent benediction of the most compassionate incarnation is the most exalted of all attainments, yet it is achieved even by meager effort. In his conversation with Sri Rai Ramananda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed adherents of the Karmakanda section of the Vedas, who maintained the notion that spirit can be synthesized with matter, chid jada samanvayabad, that varnashram dharma is ineffective. Yes. Mahaprabhu informs these karma khandis that varnashram dharma is ineffective. For their benefit, he said, Age koho ar, please speak something more than this. Then, inspired by Srimad Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai spoke the next highest truth. Krishne karmarpana sarva sadhyasar. To offer Sri Krishna the results of one's action is the essence of all perfection. Yet, offering the results of one's activities in this way is not the means to attain Krishna Prem. Yes, Nishkam Karma Yoga is not the means to attain Krishna Prem. To convey this, Mahaprabhu said, Eho bahya, age koho ar. This is external. Please tell me a conception higher than this. Offering the results of one's activities to the Lord, karma arpan, dispels one's conception that Sri Vishnu is impersonal or featureless. One may then have realization that Sri Bhagavan is a person, but still, the means to achieve Krishna Prem remains far away. I remember having this question when I was trying to memorize Bhagavad Gita verses, that it seems like if you're doing everything that you do and you offer the results of that to Krishna, doesn't that seem like bhakti? But no, that's not even the means to achieve Krishna Prem. Even if you offer everything that you do to the feet of Krishna, that's not the means to achieve Krishna Prem. The conception of absolute reality of a person who offers the fruits of his activities in this way may be limited to the understanding that Bhagavan will always accept his offerings. But if someone makes an offering without being inspired by Bhagavat Prem, he is unable to offer the fruits of his activities in the real sense. It is not possible to offer one's hard-earned money for the service of Sri Bhagavan if one does not love him. Without loving him, one cannot offer anything to him in the real sense, and one's self-identity will be external. I am a donor. Nonetheless, the very words karma arpan, offering the results of one's activities, will faintly resound in one's ears, making the following impression on the mind of the spiritual practitioner, of the sadhak. When I have offered this, the Lord can accept it. If he can accept it, it only follows that he can eat and also give blessings. Certainly, therefore, he could not be devoid of features. The awakening of this type of understanding invokes a mood, a bhav, that can rescue one from the grip of impersonalism and help one become established in a personal conception of Bhagavan. Yet this realization of personalism is somewhat gross and far from the quest for the supermundane personal reality, the aprakrit savishesh tattva that Sri Gaurasundar intended to bestow. Since it is not possible to achieve love of God, to achieve Bhagavat Prem through this type of karma arpan, that's offering the results of one's activities, Mahaprabhu also rejected it, labeling it external. He then requested Sri Ramananda Rai to elaborate further. To be continued. So now we're going to read. This is in the Rays of the Harmonist, Kartik 2007. Now we'll read the last part of this series, part 3 of Karunaya Avatīrna Kalo. Only the servants of Bhagavan can accept all things on his behalf. The tendency to live an unrestrained lifestyle is opposed to the principles of Varnashram Dharma. A person thus inclined, in the course of his life, will not accept the necessity of completely surrendering the results of his actions to Bhagavan. Śrīla Rupa Goswami donated half of his acquired wealth to the Brahmins and the Vaishnavas. And a brief description of this is found in the beginning of chapter 19 of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. So Śrīla Rupa Goswami donated half of his acquired wealth to the Brahmins and Vaishnavas. Shastra repeatedly emphasizes service to the Brahmins and Vaishnavas because only those who are servants of Bhagavan, that is, his devotees, are able to accept all things on his behalf. Mlechas and Yavanas who are outside the Varnashram system can also accumulate Sukriti, spiritual merit, by giving in charity to the Brahmins and Vaishnavas. In other words, the Lord actually extends his own hands to accept every offering made to him through the medium of serving the Brahmins and Vaishnavas. Yet the members of modern civilized society, who are prone to pampering their own whims, cannot accept this fact. Now they have become accustomed to seeing the Lord as impoverished. Sri Bhagavan is never impoverished. The greatest downfall of a Nirvisheshvadi is that he considers himself and everyone else to be the Lord, and consequently, he ultimately maintains the concocted idea that everyone is the poverty-stricken Lord, Daridra Bhagavan, or Daridra Narayan. Therefore, when such Nirvisheshvadis have themselves eaten, they say, "Now the Lord has eaten." And they support this by quoting Bhagavad Gita 15:14, which says, "Aham Vaishvanara Bhutva Praninam Dehamashrita Prana Apana Samayukta Panchamyanam Chaturvidam." As the fire of digestion in the bodies of the living entities, I combine with the outgoing and incoming airs to digest the 4 types of foodstuffs. So they say, when the Lord is sitting in people's stomachs, what need is there to feed him elsewhere? And furthermore, does a god made of wood or stone have the ability to eat? Driven by such demoniac tendencies, these atheists have gradually diminished the royal standard of service in many ancient temples. It is said that even in Sri Puri Dham, the excellent standard of service to Sri Jagannath Dev has drastically deteriorated. It is sheer madness to think that such an atheistic world would consent to offering everything into the hands of the Lord. For this reason, Sri Gaurasundar rejected this injunction as external. There's a footnote here. It says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, recite the shloka revealing the ultimate aim of life. Ramananda Rai answered, performing one's own occupational duties are swadharma is Vishnu Bhakti. He then quoted a verse from the Vishnu Purana, which says, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Person Sri Vishnu, is worshipped by properly executing one's duties in the system of Varna and Ashram. There is no other way to please him. That's Srila Prabhupada's translation of verses from chapter 8, verses 57 to 59. Okay. Qualification for sannyas. Sri Ramananda Rai then mentioned the next topic, the renunciation of fruit of action, or karma sannyas. In Kali Yuga, sannyas has come to mean the mere acceptance of sannyas garb, but the actual prerequisite for sannyas is a purified heart. When one becomes detached from the fruits of action by performing selfless work, nishkam karma, one's renunciation is perfect. On the other hand, if anyone accepts sannyas while his heart is still impure, then the thirst for enjoyment will fully remain. His sannyas is not a means to achieve love for Krishna Prem. First of all, in Kali Yuga, it is not possible for everyone to accept karma sannyas. Moreover, even those who can accept it, such sannyas, which is a way of living above karma, is simply a state of harmony with the 3 modes of material nature. It cannot help one attain love of God, Bhagavat Prem. The reason for this is that the Viraja river, the dividing line between the material and spiritual natures. Oh my God, I need to. No, I'm definitely that does not. Yeah, right. So the reason for this is that the Viraja river, the dividing line between the material and spiritual natures, is the very place where the 3 modes of material nature exist in a state of harmony. And although the predominance of the 3 modes is not perceived in the Viraja river, the internal potency of Bhagavan is still not active there. Bhagavad Bhakti, loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, is possible when one is in the shelter of his internal potency, known as Yoga Maya. That says Mahatmanas too. The great souls always remain in the shelter of my divine energy. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam 9:13. A person may achieve deliverance from the illusory potency or Mahamaya, but unless he receives the shelter of the internal potency or Yogamaya, it is impossible for him to grasp the message of Vaikuntha. The prime reason that Sri Gaurasundar advented in this world was to deliver to its inhabitants the message of Vaikuntha and to bestow upon them immaculate, transcendental, and spontaneous love of God, Bhagavat Prem. This Prem is devoid of any scent of awe and reverence and issues from the ocean of Bhav, of transcendental emotions in the incomparable realm of Goloka Vrindavan, the topmost place in Vaikuntha. What, therefore, can renunciates, can sannyasis understand about the unparalleled entity, regardless of whether their hearts are pure or impure? Understanding that those renunciates lack eligibility to receive Krishna Tattva Ras, Sri Gaurasundar also rejected the acceptance of such sannyas, regarding it as external. There's a footnote here for Krishna Tattva Ras. It says, Krishna Tattva Ras is the ambrosia of Krishna Tattva, or the ambrosia of the reality of Sri Krishna. Devotion mixed with empiric knowledge. Sri Ramananda Rai then spoke about the Gyan Mishra Bhakti, or devotion that is mixed with the desire for liberation. On this path, after a person finally attains the stage of self-realization called Brahmabhuta, and subsequently becomes full of bliss, Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, he may then receive the path of devotion to the Lord. However, until he actually sees it, the prospect of merging with the impersonal aspect of the Supreme, Nirvishesh Sayuja Mukti, blinds him. For a pure devotee of Bhagavan, this Sayuja Mukti is no better than hell. He refuses any kind of salvation other than loving service to Bhagavan, even though the Lord is eager to award him various other kinds of mukti, like the attainment of a form similar to his own, Sarupya Mukti, and residence on the same planet as him, Salokya Mukti. Thus, in Gyan Mishra Bhakti, there is no hope of ever with the egotism that he is already liberated can have no realization of the variegated features of the absolute reality, he who casts away all of delusion. Therefore, such egotism reflects the tendency to be antagonistic to Bhagavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu imparted to the world the eternal object of the eternally pure living entity's worship, the Nitya Sevya Vastu of the Nitya Shuddha Jiva. The worship of the Nitya Sevya Vastu, that means the eternal object of the eternally pure living entity's worship. So the worship of that Nitya Seva Vastu is not a concocted religion that has arisen from someone's imagination. It is the soul's intrinsic function. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended to personally give this. He thus embodies the statement, Karunaya Avatirna Kalo, the most compassionate incarnation who has descended in this age of Kali. Devotion devoid of empiric knowledge. So that was Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Now we come to Jnana Shunya Bhakti. Ordered by Sriman Mahaprabhu, Sri Ramananda Rai then introduced the transcendental natural religion, the path of devotion to Bhagavan, devoid of empiric knowledge. That's devoid of any Jnana Mishra Bhakti. This can be pursued by everyone, and it is the only universal path that is suitable for all living entities, the young and the old, women, scholars, wretches, fools, yavanas. And it says those from tribal castes like the Kirata and Hunandra, the Brahmins, Hindus and Muslims, natives and foreigners, and all societies of humans. Yes, this path of Jnana Shunya Bhakti, right, can be pursued by everyone. And it's the only universal path suitable for all living entities, no matter who they are. Indeed, it is even suitable for souls in every species of life, such as animals, birds, insects, and worms, in whatever species they appear. For the first time in their conversation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responded by saying, "This is all right," when it came to Jnana Shunya Bhakti. In order to express the process for attaining Jnana Shunya Bhakti, Sri Ramananda Rai quoted the prayers that Brahma offered after he stole Krishna's cows and calves. Jnane prayasamudupasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartam sthane stita shrutigatam tanuvang manobhye ye prayasho jita jito pyasitais trilokyam. That's from the 10th canto, chapter 14, verse 3. O Lord, in all the three worlds, you are unconquerable. Yet you are easily defeated by those devotees who shun the endeavor to acquire knowledge empirically by meditating on undifferentiated Brahma, who hear about you. And you're also conquered by those who hear about you through the narrations emanating from the mouths of sadhus, and who thus carry out their life following the path of the saints with their body, mind, and words. You are conquered by those people. This, indeed, is the first and quintessential explanation of the means to attain Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift, the form of Krishna Prem indicated by the statement, Anarpita Charim Chirat. Upon hearing about this process from Sri Ramananda Rai's lotus mouth, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately accepted it. "This is all right," he said, "but speak further." Until this point, they had discussed the topics related to observing the duties of one's caste and social order, Varnashram Dharma, offering the results of one's actions to the Lord, Nishkam Karma Yoga, ceasing all action performed for a fruit of reward, and thus renouncing action, that's karma sannyas, and engaging in devotion that is mixed with dry, speculative knowledge, Gyan Mishra Bhakti, with the desire to attain liberation. The entire world has taken these topics and changed and twisted them to concoct innumerable philosophies. However, it is imperative to carefully consider how all of these philosophies are unable to give Prema Pumartha Mahan, the fifth and ultimate goal of human life, Krishna Prem. Bhakti herself destroys the threefold miseries. The greatest obstacle to achieving love for Krishna is the effort to search out the impersonal aspect of the Supreme, Brahma Anusandhan. Dharma de moksha vancha kaitava pradhan, jahan hoite Krishna bhakti hoy antardhan. That's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 192. Among all types of deception, hankering for impersonal salvation is more full of conceit than any other. In its presence, loving devotion to Krishna vanishes. Those who secretly hanker for liberation should not try to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated Bhagavat Dharma. And there's a footnote here. It says, Bhagavat Dharma refers to the eternal, pure, loving service to Sri Krishna as revealed in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated Bhagavat Dharma. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, the hankering for liberation has been thoroughly denounced. Bhagavad Bhakti is herself the destroyer of suffering and the eradicator of the threefold miseries. Those who hanker for mukti with the hope of becoming free from the threefold miseries take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet and become initiated into the Harer Nama mantra, which he propagated. So if someone becomes initiated into the Harir Nama mantra, which Mahaprabhu propagated, becoming free from the threefold miseries, and they take shelter of his feet. Then, as soon as they bear the victory flag of Sri Krishna Kirtan, the mirror of their heart will be cleansed, and the blazing forest fire of their material existence will be extinguished. Indeed, by this, one becomes acquainted with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's compassion. The fruit of Sri Krishna Sankirtan. As a result of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, a heart that would ordinarily have to be purified by the performance of many sacrifices, charitable acts, and austerities can be cleansed even just by the initial result of inoffensive Krishna Kirtan. Liberation from the three kinds of suffering, or from the mundane realm, which is governed by the three modes of material nature, is but the secondary result of Krishna Kirtan. Yet those in the impersonalist school, the Jnani Sampradaya, undergo painstaking austerities birth after birth just to achieve it. After liberation from matter, along with the blossoming of the supremely beneficial Bhagavad Bhakti, the very life of the goddess of transcendental knowledge is revived. The ocean of bliss swells, the soul achieves complete good fortune, and all other fruits of Bhagavad Bhakti are realized in a natural sequence. Those who search after these fruits through awareness of non-differentiation cannot find them. Therefore, from the very beginning, it is proper to abandon endeavors to find undifferentiated Brahma through knowledge. The snare of impersonalism. This search for undifferentiated Brahma is merely an artificial, wicked endeavor. Every human being naturally accepts that Bhagavan is beyond compare. Those on a lower level of God realization admire his potencies, and those on a higher platform acknowledge the Lord himself as Sarva Shaktiman, the possessor of all potencies. As a matter of misfortune, people have fallen into the clutches of the wicked, impersonalist non-devotees and have gradually undertaken the pursuit of the impersonal aspect of reality. The last trap of Maya is the endeavor to gain knowledge about undifferentiated Brahma. When human society displays its erudition, its intelligence is stolen by illusion in this way. Otherwise, everyone generally accepts that the Lord has no equal, and it is their position to serve him. For this reason, the common men who have not associated with the impersonalists are qualified to hear Mahaprabhu's message. However, by the influence of Kali, this destructive doctrine of impersonalism has cast its net in various ways and is ensnaring innocent people. The duty of those who introduce themselves as the servants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to instruct these innocent people about Krishna and protect them from the clutches of impersonalism. If we are to protect people from the clutches of unauthorized sects who are malicious towards the Lord, then it is necessary to firmly preach the conceptions of the Bhagavat Sampradaya, the lineage of the highest order of exalted gurus. We see even in Śrīla Prabhupāda's Pranam Mantra, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtadadvarini. That's one of his big emphasis, like one of his main, All are qualified to hear about Krishna. The second proposal made in the Jnane Prayasam verse, formerly cited, is to hear Bhagavat Kirtan, the singing of Bhagavan's glories, from the mouths of sadhus. Everyone has a qualification for this. The highborn as well as the low, scholars and the uneducated, natives and foreigners, adherents of one's religion or of another, animals and birds, worms and insects, all have the eligibility to hear Krishna Kirtan from the mouths of sadhus. Qualifications like high birth, wealth, scholarship, or beauty are not required for this. Maharaj Parikshit achieved the mercy of Bhagavan simply by hearing, simply by Shravan, and Śrīla Shukadev Goswami by chanting, by performing kirtan. Thus, everyone can hear Krishna Kirtan from the mouths of sadhus and carry out their lives in a humble manner. Krishna Kirtan refers to that Kirtan which Krishna himself has sung, as well as Kirtan that describes everything related to his name, form, qualities, pastimes, and the specialities of his associates. So we see Śrīla Prabhupada now, and our acharyas, they mostly, when they use the word Kirtan, they're referring to Hari Katha, and also kirtan, like these songs, but it's not just, not usually when people hear the word kirtan, they think it just means like playing instruments and singing Mahamantra or these different songs like that. But no, it's yeah. Okay. Krishna Kirtan refers to that kirtan which Krishna himself has sung, as well as kirtan that describes everything related to his name, form, qualities, pastimes, and the specialities of his associates. Bhagavan Sri Krishna personally spoke the Bhagavad Gita. He instructed it to the sun god, who in turn imparted it to Manu, and Manu then told it to Ikshvaku. In this way, through the disciplic succession, the saintly kings became acquainted with the yoga system propounded in Bhagavad Gita. The importance of hearing from the right source. The secret of Bhagavad Gita cannot be discovered without accepting the shelter of a bona fide parampara, nor can it be unraveled by the tedious wrangling of the Mayavadis. The manner in which the devotees of Bhagavan explain Bhagavad Gita is the only manner of explanation worth hearing. Mayavadir Bhashya Shunile Hoy Sarvanash. One's spiritual life will be completely destroyed if one hears the commentary of the Mayavadis. The Parampara resumed with Arjuna, a most glorious devotee of the Lord. Arjuna accepted the Lord as the eternal personality, the unborn, the indivisible, the absolute truth, the supreme shelter, and the complete whole. His words concur with the opinion of various rishis, such as Devarshi Narad, Vyas, Devala, Asita, and other exalted Mahajans. In Bhagavad Gita, even the Lord himself declares his unprecedented supreme personhood. If someone rejects all these conclusions and instead hears the impersonalist commentaries of the Mayavadis, which presents the conception that the absolute truth is devoid of attributes, Nirvisheshvad, or if he listens to those who maintain the conception that one should identify one's own self as the object of worship, aham grahopasana, then he will surely go to the darkest regions of hell. As a matter of fact, for the devotee, every form of mundane enjoyment, from the happiness found in the lower planets all the way up to the happiness being one with the absolute truth. Sorry. I'm getting a bit tired, so I'm not. So for the devotee, every form of mundane enjoyment, even all the way up to the happiness of being one with the absolute, Kaivalya Sukh, is the darkest hell. Srimad Bhagavatam is the immaculate Puran, which describes the names, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord and his devotees. It is proper to hear these descriptions from the Parampara. Jaho Bhagavata Poro Vaishnaverastane. One should study the Bhagavatam by approaching a Vaishnav and accepting his shelter. That's from Antya-lila 5:131. Except for the Bhakta Bhagavat, who never explains Bhagavatam to earn a living, no one can explain the Grantha Bhagavat. The word sadhu implies the Bhakta Bhagavat. There's a footnote here for sadhu. And the Gyane Prasam verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, 14.3, cited previously, the word sat in the term sat mukaritam refers to sadhus, and mukaritam literally means emanating from the mouths. Hence, sat mukaritam refers to narrations by sadhus. Okay, so the word sadhu implies Bhakta Bhagavat. Those who exclusively perform Bhagavad Bhajan are indeed sadhus. If one can hear powerful narrations about Bhagavan from the mouths of such sadhus and apply the instructions within these narrations to one's own life, then Ajita, the unconquerable Lord, will become Jita, conquered. To do this, one will have to establish oneself in Brahmanya Dharma, in which one acquires the nature and qualities of a Brahman. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all human beings have the qualification to situate themselves in Brahmanya Dharma. Furthermore, according to the verse Kiva Vipra Kiva Nyasi Shudra Keninoi from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 8:128, anyone established in Brahmanya Dharma has the qualification to continuously perform kirtan of the narrations about Krishna. If one is to establish himself in Brahmanya Dharma, one must become endowed with such qualities as truthfulness, control over the mind, control over the senses, tolerance, simplicity, knowledge, practical realization, belief in the Lord, and cleanliness. Only those who live their lives keeping deceit, cunning, untruthfulness, deception, cheating, theft, and abominable desires at a distance, and who hear Hari Katha from the sadhus who are experts in bhajan, only those people can completely drive away the tendency to collect knowledge, which takes the form of searching for the undifferentiated aspect of the absolute. On the strength of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, such people are qualified to achieve the fifth goal of the human life. The fifth goal of human life, Bhagavat Prem. This indeed is the greatly generous gift of the most compassionate avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is thus shown conclusively that he gives full meaning to the statement Karunaya Avatirna Kalo, the most compassionate avatar who descends in this Kali Yuga. Thus concludes the third and final part of the series of articles entitled Karunaya Avatirna Kalo. And this last article appeared in Rays of the Harmonist, Kartik 2008. And it was written by Śrīla Prabhupāda in 1956 for Sri Gauḍīya Patrikā. All right, so that is our session for today. Perfect timing. 1.5 hours. That's good. That's how long our sessions usually are. So we managed to do it in good time. All right. I'll do a quick Maha Mantra and then we'll end for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Oh, and just so you know, yesterday we read from the book Sri Chaitanya and His Associates by Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī, all about Ramananda Rai. So on this auspicious day of his disappearance, if you would like to, if you haven't heard it already, you can find it on my YouTube channel. You can find from yesterday our reading. Right. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai. I'll do full Jai Dhwani. Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashutara Śrīmad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīla I just said it, yeah, Bhaktivedānta Keshav Goswami Maharaj, sorry guys. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Who Śrīla Prabhupada said is the second manifestation of Nityananda Prabhu and the embodiment of Gauravani. Jai Jagadguru Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai all of his associates ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Śrīla Baladev Vijibhushan Prabhu ki Jai. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki Jai. Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Shard Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Padatta Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Jai Shri Ramananda Rai ki jai, Tvadir Shubha Tirubha Titi ki jai, Jai the Rai Ramananda Sambar ki jai, Shri Gauḍīya Patrikā ki jai, all of Śrīla Prabhupāda's articles for Gauḍīya Patrikā ki jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashta Krishna Bhakti Devi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Dandavat pranams. Sajan Maharaj.
Jai. Dandavat. Pranams.
Pranams Bhavatarini Mataji and Niri Hari Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Niri Hari Prabhu. Dandavat pranams.
I typed something in the chat that has nothing to do with this class, and I don't know if it's appropriate for me to speak it now. But Vrinda Devi called us and was speaking to us, and she mentioned that during our discussion of japa one time, I said that she told me that Śrīla Narayan Maharaj said you should hang up your bead bag during parikram. And we did hear that from Premananda Prabhu. But she says, I said she quoted that, and I'm very sorry, and I wanted to apologize because Gurudev told her, don't just hang up your bead. I don't remember the exact quote. Don't just hang up your bead bag and starve your mala. So I wanted to apologize for misspeaking, and I will be more careful in the future to speak properly. So please forgive me.
No, that's very very nice that you clarified that.
I remember on more than one occasion that Gurudev saw me walking on Parikram with my bead bag. I was chanting kirtan, but he would slap me, twist my ear. You just participate in kirtan.
Yeah, so that is true. I mean, so I think what you said is not actually fully incorrect. It's like we can do, but if we're in front of kirtan and you're chanting Harinam while like in kirtan, then that's not proper.
Right.
But also,
yeah. I think it would reference to they were so busy with the festival that Guru said, yeah, they had to reduce the amount of chanting, or maybe even sometimes not able to do it.
The main error is that I said I was quoting Vrinda Devi.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, and that Srila Gurudev told her, don't starve your beads.
Yes.
Your mala, don't starve your mala.
Never.
So that's yeah, and so it was irresponsible of me to speak without proper
confirming with her, but we were convinced because we heard this from few devotees and Premananda.
So I think her point is that you should never stop chanting japa altogether.
Yes. Yes.
Just not at the improper times like Sajan Maharaj is saying. So I didn't want to take up a lot of time. I told her yesterday I would correct this.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. Very Hari Prabhu. And Krishna Gauranga Prabhu, Sarveshwari Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Anjali Didi, Shri Devi Didi, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Madhavendra Puri Prabhu, Archana Didi, and Manjulali Didi. And let's see on YouTube and Facebook who is there. Vrinda Didi, a different Vrinda Didi, and Ganga Mataji, and Rasapriya Didi, Vidyalalasa Didi, and there are a few other devotees, but I don't see your names because they didn't write comments. But pranams to everybody who joined, and see you all tomorrow for, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow we're going to be going through Bhaktivedānta Dhara, the next song. Forgot what the next song. No, we're going to be going through Prabhu He Emona Durmati from Sharanagati, and we will go through Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Svāmī Maharaj's commentary on that, his extensive commentary on that song. So I look forward to seeing you all for that. I hope you all have a wonderful celebration of Sri Ramananda Rai's disappearance day today. And thank you so much for joining us, for sticking to the end. Right, Hare Krishna. Oh, and I just see once just before I end, Vrinda Didi, I see you're asking me if I can send the EPUB to you. Do you have my WhatsApp? If you have my WhatsApp, if you send me a message, then I can send it to you. Otherwise, I don't know how to get it to you. All right. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow. Hare Bol.